With coronavirus infections growing around the country, there are concerns that family gatherings at Thanksgiving could spread the virus even further. 56% of Americans are planning to travel for Thanksgiving this year, with most driving to their holiday destination. The CDC says even small household gatherings are an important contributor to the rise in coronavirus cases. The agency now recommending getting a flu shot, small gatherings outside, wearing a mask, and staying out of the tight spaces like the kitchen.
Please be more careful around Thanksgiving so that we can have a Merry Christmas. Otherwise, there's a real chance that we're going to see explosive spread of COVID throughout December as a result of the Thanksgiving holidays.
The CDC is encouraging people to limit gatherings to their own household or a small group of close contacts, or maybe even consider a virtual Thanksgiving with family out of state.